Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to the second installment of Meta Mondays. As requested by Sunny Hawk, we're going to be continuing our look at control in a combo-dominated meta, and exploring what makes the big golden boy tick. Meaning, of course, we're looking at Eldlich. An all-star of the format that never was, thanks COVID, Eldlich came out of the September ban list only being hit by proxy, with the loss of Jet Synchron and Olion more or less killing the combo variant. However, with the engine itself untouched, the Golden Lord continues in a very competent control space, widely being considered as a tier 2 deck, as well as taking a top 8 finish at LCS 8, being combined with Dogmatica and Zodiac in Paulo Goncalves' Spicy Brew. So what does the big zombie and company do? That has to be something special, with the Golden Lord himself commanding a wallet-terrifying price of over £100 per copy. Before the reprint in Maximum Gold tanked that, and the world heard the anguished cry of everyone who spent over £300 on a playset of a card they never got to use in a real-life event. It can now be picked up for around £17 per copy. Not cheap, but nowhere near that peak. The Eldlich core can be split into three main segments: the Golden Lord himself, the Elixirs of varying colours, and his minions of the Golden Land. Alongside a few outliers, but we'll worry about them later. So let's start with what everything revolves around, the shiniest of boys, the gaudy god of bling, Eldlich the Golden Lord. This chonker of a zombie loves to be in the grave, and thanks to the first section of his effect, lets you get him there super easily. You can send the Golden Lord plus one spell or trap from your hand to the grave, to target one card on the field, and send it to the grave. Non-destruction removal that gets one of your Eldlich or Golden Land spell or traps in the grave is good, but also sets up Goldie's next effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one spell or trap you control to the graveyard, add this card to your hand, then you can special summon one zombie monster from your hand, blah blah blah, against attack, can't be destroyed by card effects, blah blah blah. So Eldlich the Golden Lord sets himself up to be special summoned by sending something to the grave, while setting up the graveyard with the Golden Boy's plethora of spells and traps that have effects by being banished from grave. What a lad. Let's go over Blingman's plentiful parlour of potions, the Elixirs. All of the Elixir cards share the ability to be banished from the grave to set a Golden Land card from deck. This can only be activated if their other effect hasn't been used that turn. All three of the Elixirs do see play, so let's begin with the odd one out, Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Why is Scarlet Sanguine the odd one out? Well, it's the only trap Elixir, with white and black being spells. Scarlet Sanguine lets you special summon a zombie monster from your deck, or graveyard, with the restriction that if you don't control an Eldlich monster, you have to summon an Eldlich monster. How dare you restrict me to the play I was going to make anyway. You also can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except zombie monsters, but with Synchro Eldlich being just another nightmare of a previous format, that doesn't matter as much. On to Elixir of White Destiny then. This quick play spell does exactly the same as Scarlet Sanguine, but it's hand instead of deck. Oh, and white only lets you use its banish effect during the main phase for some inexplicable reason. Elixir of Black Destiny completes the cycle of locations you can special summon a zombie from by offering hand and deck, foregoing the graveyard options Scarlet and White offer. It also doesn't restrict you from using its banish effect only during the main phase. Why does only White have this restriction? If you know, please tell me in the comments, as it's starting to drive me a little bit fucking insane. Clearly, Black is the best of the three, as it summons from deck, and unlike Scarlet, doesn't require to be set for a turn before use. Each generally finds its way into the deck, as getting to the Golden Lord is priority number 1. White sees less play, generally being run at 1, as it's easily searchable and doesn't enable summoning from the deck. And now on to the third part of this triptych of a deck, the Golden Land archetype. All of the Golden Land cards, not counting Golden Land Forever, but we'll go into that later, share a similar effect to the Eldlich cards. That being, during the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set one Eldlich spell or trap directly from your deck. Just like the Eldlixirs, the search effect can't be activated the turn you activate their main effects. Alongside searching the Eldlixirs, all of the Golden Land cards are trapped normal monsters, zombies of course, with a bonus effect when they are special summoned, and they come with a variety of stats and levels. Conquistador the Horse Lad comes forth as a level 5 light zombie, with 500 attack and 1800 defense. He also allows you to destroy one face-up card on the field on summon, as long as you control the big Golden Overlord. Next up we have Haquero, the Haunted Scarecrow, or at least he always makes me think of a scarecrow. I don't know whether he actually is, but anyway. This creeper exists as a light zombie that is level 5, like his conqueror buddy. He's slightly beefier with 1800 attack, but only 1500 defense. On summon, of course only if his boss is on the field under your control, you can banish a card from either graveyard. Finally, we have the Golden Land's Doggo, Guardian of the Golden Land. He whiffs his way onto the field as a level 8 light zombie with a measly 800 attack, but the chonkiest of chonks at 2500 defense. Guardian is probably the least useful effect by making the attack of one face-up monster in the field go to 0. Now there's 2 outliers we haven't covered yet. First up, we have Golden Land Forever. This counter trap is an Omni Negate at the price of controlling an Eldlich monster and tributing a zombie. One of the best things about this trap is that it contains the string of characters GOLDEN space LAND, Golden Land. This means it can be searched off of any of the Eldlich's banish effects. Because, you know, a searchable Omni Negate is always nice. Finally, we have the only non-searchable spell the archetype has, Cursed Eldland. This continuous spell lets you pay 8 to feel great. For the meagre cost of 1/10 of your life points, you can search out an Eldlich monster or a Golden Land spell or trap. And then, when this card is sent to the grave, from the spell or trap zone, you can send an Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell or trap from the deck to the grave. Oh, and you can't declare attacks with non-zombie cards, but okay. Clearly an incredible effect, and if this was searchable, it would probably be a little bit too broken. So that's the cards used by Eldlich, but how do these pieces fit together into a cohesive whole? The name of the game here is to out-resource your opponent. When almost all of your cards search out a replacement, and you have such easy access to your boss monster, as well as said boss monster having incredible recurrence, Eldlich is the king of the grind. While there isn't much in the way of combos, I'm going to pass it over to my good friend, me, again. It's just me. It's always just me. To show a basic sort of setup coming from a Cursed Eldland and a random discard. Hello guys, nice to see you again, Treeworm Frog here, and thanks to me for handing it over to me. I'm going to show you here is just a quick little play, very simple. 2 cards, ending on, not much, but on your opponent's turn you get a wee bit more. So we activate Cursed Eldland, we pay our 800, and we get Eldlich the Golden Lord to our hand. Look, there he is, and isn't that just amazing? We're then going to send Eldlich to the graveyard, alongside this Elixir of White Destiny that we just beautifully had in our hand, and then that's going to send this Cursed Eldland to the graveyard. Just going to trigger Eldland's effect, and we're going to send a Golden Land spell or trap. I think, wow, would you look at that? Golden Land spell or trap. We're then going to banish the Elixir of White Destiny to get us a Golden Land spell or trap to the field. That one will do nicely. So, yeah, set that. Beautiful. Then we're going to move to our end phase. We're going to banish the Guardian of the Golden Land, and that is going to get us a set Elixir. In this case, it's of Scarlet Sanguine. I'm going to set that. So then, on our opponent's turn, we can activate the Elixir Scarlet Sanguine and say like the standby phase or whatever, whenever we really feel like it. Special summon from deck if you have one in there, but this is just one of every Eldlich card, so we're just going to special summon from grave here. So now we have a Golden Lord on the field. We have a pop to back something up if we want to just destroy anything. That could also be a Golden Land Forever if you wanted an Omni Negate instead. You know, there's plays there, and that's just from 2 cards, and there's so many other ways to get to Eldlich the Golden Lord that this can really see play in a variety of decks, much like Dogmatica. In fact, Eldlich Dogmatica is a pretty popular variant, especially with the Zodiac engine popped in there as well. So that's just a little example of the plays that you can have very simply with Eldlich there. I'm just going to throw it back over to Treeborn right now, so catch you later. Thanks Treeborn, great breakdown there. So that about does it for our brief foray into the Zombies Golden Kingdom. I know I've learned a lot making this, and I hope you've learned a thing or two about what tickles Eldlich's golden pickle. Also, Blazing Vortex is seeing a new fusion monster and a fusion spell coming for Eldlich, So it's good to see that the archetype is still getting some support. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the deck in the future and whether those cards get much play. Until next time then friends, Treeworm Frog, checking out.